I don't think it would be an unfair assessment to say that I've been a pretty steadfast proponent of all things exploration and innovation in coffee, and regularly buy relatively expensive coffee tools and accessories for the hope or the chance at just an incremental benefit. But this whole ion beam thing, it just feels like something different. And I've had quite a few folks ask me for my opinion on it, so I figured I'd just do what I do and make a video. And I think the best way to start this is with an example. What you're looking at here is the same coffee, grinder, setting, and RPM. The only difference is one is grinding without the ion beam and the other is. Actually, in reality, this one is just me pointing a small camera tripod at the grinder. Instead, the noticeable difference in static and chaff between these two examples is just from a simple spritz of water. And this, my friends, is the main crux of my issue with this tool. And of course, usually for videos like this, I would buy, get loaned one, or borrow a tool like this, test it out, and film a review. But as you may be guessing by now, this isn't a review. I don't own the tool, I've never owned the tool, I've never even used the tool. But that doesn't mean I can't have an opinion on it. And honestly, I encourage you to share your opinions as well, because in the end, I think this video does ask some fundamental questions that I'd be curious to hear your answers to. But before things get too heated, I'm going to freshen up with today's sponsor, Native. As you know, summer is in full effect, and with Native's bestseller pack, you can stay smelling your best all day with their body wash, deodorant body spray, and my daily staple, their deodorant stick. Not only is it aluminum and paraben free, but also it's not sticky and feels dry while applying. And they have a huge variety of scents that can please even the most discerning smeller. I chose the subtly sweet grapefruit and bergamot, the calming blend of citrus and herbal musk, and my favorite classic clean scent, charcoal. When it comes to the body wash, it's made with plant-based cleansers, meaning it's vegan and cruelty-free. And the deodorant body spray is powered by air, it's easy to apply, and provides instant odor protection. So get your bestsellers pack today. Normally it's $36, but if you use my link and code Sprometheus2, you can get your deodorant, your body wash, and your deodorant and body spray for only $24. That's 33% off. Thanks to Native for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back into it. I first came across the ion beam just mindlessly scrolling through Instagram as one does, and my immediate thought was, did I miss this on April 1st? Because it struck me as one of those social media April Fool's jokes that many companies do. You know the ones where they kind of look slightly plausible at first glance, but as you look a little closer, you hopefully realize you've been had before you share it publicly and everyone knows you haven't looked at a calendar and you might be a little gullible. But this idea wasn't a joke. It somehow made its way into a pile of product pitches and found its way through some corporate pipeline and ended up in production. All jokes aside though, I tend to have a bit of a litmus test when it comes to choosing to buy new equipment or tools and accessories. And I ask myself just one fundamental question. If this item works exactly as described, will the benefits received line up with the price paid? And of course, the benefit to price ratio is a subjective one, and it doesn't always have to do with improving taste. It can also aid workflow or other aspects of the process. And I'd say there's also even a cutout when it comes to aesthetics. I mean, we've all bought something that may or may not give our coffee or our process any sort of benefit, but we just like looking at it. And I would say that also falls in line with an improvement. And some may even make the case that the ion beam is a piece of art. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder after all. But just for instance, let's just assume that the ion beam works exactly as Acaia describes. It efficiently minimizes static generated during the grinding process, resulting in reduced retention, less flying chaff, and less clumping. Now, surface level, I can admit that this all sounds pretty useful, and many folks would like a cleaner bar or a simpler workflow, but let me present you with Exhibit A. Does the difference between this image and this image strike you as a $150 advantage? Because what you're looking at is what you're getting. There's no hidden benefit like there would be with a set of burrs or a basket. Essentially, by that I mean you can't really look at a tool and see how something is going to taste, at least when you're sober. So what you're seeing with this tool, the ion beam, what you see is what you get. And this brings me to Exhibit B, and kind of the reason why I showed you that example earlier. Many baristas have already approached and solved these issues with a much more low-tech and less expensive solution. When it comes to clumping, we have the Weiss distribution technique. Essentially, it's a small handle with needles or wires that breaks up clumps, and as a bonus, it evenly distributes the grinds, which still needs to be done after grinding with the ion beam. And for static, the Ross droplet technique, affectionately known as RDT. is a simple spritz of water on the beans before grinding. And this has become a pretty popular remedy, which in turn minimizes retention and flying chaff. And both of these can be reasonably attained for under $150. On top of all of this, it doesn't even come with the tripod, which needs to be sourced on your own, and its settings can only be adjusted via the Acaia application. So this all leaves me wondering, who is this for? I mean, I can definitely see it being more useful in a cafe environment because they're most likely using grinders that have a hopper, so they can't use RDT, and they're likely not going to use WDT because it's a delicate and time-consuming process in the middle of service. But also they have to keep track of this thing, find space for a bipod or a tripod on their bar, they have to make sure it's charged. It all just feels like a bit of a stretch. But based on what I've seen, it seems the Ion Beam is clearly marketed as home equipment, considering all the grinders it's pointed at on their product page are home grinders, and most of them are single dosers. So in that instance, what you're saving yourself is a very, very small amount of time. Essentially the time it takes for you to pick up a spray bottle and mist your beans, which arguably is one of the easiest and, let's be real, optional steps of coffee prep. But who knows, maybe Acaia just really believes in Kevin's philosophy.
Many small time make big time.
So in the end, I think this is really just a high-tech, high-cost solution for what really is just a mild inconvenience at best. And when you start introducing technology, applications, and rechargeable lithium-ion batteries into the equation, it starts to feel like the analog option is just a better longer-term investment. RDT and WDT are truly just simpler, cheaper ways of attaining what seems like an extremely similar result to the Ion Beam. Granted, it's more hands-on and less elegant in some respects, but it's a more tactile, connected experience, and it's part of a process that many home baristas, myself included, enjoy. And of course, this isn't to say that if you want this tool, you shouldn't get it, or that Acaia doesn't make quality products. It's just, in my opinion, it seems like there's so many more unique and interesting angles within coffee to put those research and development dollars into, especially when it comes to tools and accessories. And it also feels like a further step in the direction away from the craft. And as we're seeing with many industries, a lot of companies are trying to align themselves as an innovator, as an Apple or a Tesla. But through that process, they're essentially making themselves feel out of touch. And on that bombshell, I think it's time I start wrapping this one up. And as always, pass the conversation on to you. What are your thoughts on the Ion Beam? Am I just being a curmudgeon here? Am I way off base and everyone's ready to ditch their spray bottle and WDT tool? And also, what's your analysis of cost-benefit ratio? Like, how do you choose new tools and which ones to buy? Drop your answers to those questions and any others you may have in the comment section down below. And as always, I'll see y'all next week. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that little bell button for notifications of new videos posted every Friday. Check out my Instagram @Sprometheus for content throughout the week. Help support my channel by considering becoming a channel member for exclusive access. And as always, stay caffeinated. Pony Boy.